When they took all of those Africans from Africa and put them all together and stripped them of their cultural markings, they created something new. That's what Black people are.
There are 5 indicators of one's socioeconomic status.
History is not just some random dates and facts in people from the past.
19% of Black families in the U.S. have a negative net worth.
We were birthed into the world in 1865 after a couple hundred years of gestating and developing. And now we're essentially teenagers in terms of the cultural development cycle, trying to figure out who we are in a world that is essentially saying, we don't like you. We don't want you. How would any teenager react to that?
My name is Documentay Tahimba, and I'm the owner of the Pan-African Connection bookstore.
You know, Black bookstores are very different than a general bookstore, right? Because it's the word Black in front of it, like we talk about Black people stuff.
Black America, if we don't get ourselves together, we're going to be relegated to 4th-class citizens in America. So think about the amount of resources that we did not have access to as 2nd-class citizens in America, behind white people.
We can see what the consequences are when children do not know their history. Children do not realize the power of their legacies. They can be manipulated to believe that they are worthless, that they don't have any role in this world. There's all kind of tragic tales within the dynamics of the Black family, and the children are the ones who are truly going to suffer.
Welcome back to On the Shoulders of Giants. I am Joseph Ward, and I have a special video for you today, special interview for you today. We're talking about the upcoming documentary at the Pan-African Connection. And as you can see from the trailer, myself and Patrick are in the documentary. So we definitely thank you to Tony for putting us in the documentary. But after reviewing this documentary, I made the decision that I wanted to bring the creator of the documentary onto our channel so I can, for one, introduce him to you, my audience, and 2, give you all more light on what he's doing and the documentary, because I believe it's a powerful documentary. I believe it's a needed documentary. I believe it's a documentary that will get people to thinking, get people to doing something, because one of the greatest things about the actual documentary is at the end, there is a call to action. But one of the greatest things about this documentary is it's centered around the Pan-African Connection bookstore. I've yet to see a documentary about our people, about our culture, about our struggle and our upliftment and empowerment, but be surrounded by a bookstore that is doing just that, the Pan-African Connection bookstore. So I want you all to pull out your pens, your notepads, get your popcorn, all your little movie snacks that you like. You know how movie snacks get involved. Get all your movie snacks together as I welcome to the On the Shoulders of Giants stage, Mr. Anthony Asoda. How you doing, my brother?
What's up, Joe, man? I appreciate that intro, man. I need to have you at all the intros.
Man, you know, I've been working on my intro game over these years, trying to make sure I perfect it, man. Got to bring you up right.
Yeah, no, appreciate it, man.
Yes, sir. Now, well, how have you been?
I've been good, man. I think I interviewed you around like October of 2023 or something like that.
Yeah.
And then I basically, I think I used like my last funds or whatnot to interview Patrick. And then after that, I was editing for a full year. So the whole 2024, I was just editing. And that's really what I've been up to, man. Just trying to complete this and also, take some time to enjoy my life when I'm not doing this.
Right. Okay. Well, before we get into the documentary, give us a little background information about yourself and what brought you to becoming a filmmaker.
Well, my filmmaker name, I go by Anthony Asota, but I'm also known as Tony White for everybody who's been knowing me. I was born and raised in Dallas, Texas, but I've been gone for the past 11 years or so. I actually spent the past 6.5 years out in Los Angeles, and that's kind of where I would say I cut my teeth on documentary filmmaking. And so I guess what got me into it is I've always been a curious person, and the more I just started to travel, be around other people in their countries, I just started to wonder about a lot of different things, and it kind of led me down to this path of picking this up to like, this is what I want to do. I just want to really give myself to these ideas that come in my head and to life type of feel. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's
yeah. But and I appreciate that, right? Because you are using your gifts to give back. You're using your gifts that you have to make sure that you can inspire your community. I think that's great. I think that's what we all should do. Whatever gifts or talents you have, use that to give back and inspire the community. But I think it's interesting that as a filmmaker, you decided to not necessarily go I would say the more traditional route that we as the novelists know about filmmaking, or even going to Hollywood, where you just go in and you trying to get on and you want to be a part of the movies and get all the money and just make stuff and still contribute to the content that's already not good for us. But you decided to take this lane. Why did you decide to take because you created your own film, you're an independent filmmaker. Why did you decide to take the independent route versus try to go and be a part of the machine?
Well, I was a part of quote unquote the machine, but it was never in it was so coming from Dallas, then moving to I went to play football out in Colorado, went to school out there. And out there I used to that's where I started kind of just making videos just for memories. I used to love memories. People was like, man, you should really do this and whatnot. And then after a year or so, I was like, wait, I should I got injured and a bunch of other stuff that happened, but really reflect and think about my life. And of course, I was, like I said, I was curious. I always curious about the why of this and why of that. And so I was like, well, if I want to really, really do it, I should probably go out to where the people really, really do it. And so I went out to LA. That's where I started to be a PA and all of these things. And I was able to work as a production assistant and then move up to producer. So I was working on, for sports fans, I was working on shows like Last Chance U, football and basketball. I did America's Sweethearts, the cheerleading documentary with the Cowboys cheerleaders. And I even did some reality TV, Love is Blind. And a lot of people don't believe this, but I even worked with Zeus.
Right.
I've done a lot of different things, but I just, it was all to learn. Like I've always had these things in the back of my head, but it was always to get out there and learn. And then I guess doing them, and as I was moving up, it was getting comfortable, but I just couldn't get these things out of my head, these things that I wanted to do, at least wanted to try to express before I kept doing that. And that's kind of what made me just kind of go cold turkey with it all. Go cold turkey with it all, because you kind of move up, you get in that world, and it's it's you finally are able to widen the gap between surviving and thriving. You know what I mean? It's like all this time trying to survive and get by, and then you get this opportunity to not just survive anymore. You just you widen in that gap, but it was this thing of okay, I'm getting closer to thriving, but I'm about to be thriving at some stuff that I don't really want to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just I decided to just make that sacrifice to see if I could thrive at something that I really wanted to do. And
Gotcha.
it's been a process, but I guess that's what got me out. To answer your question, sorry, I kind of go on these.
No, you good. You good.
That's what got me to dive all the way into this.
Gotcha. And a hell of a dive it was, because you dove yourself right into a great documentary at the Pan-African Connection, and I know you have big plans for your documentary, and that's commendable as well. You're not just making a documentary just to say I made one, but you actually you have plans to go out and push it hard and make sure the masses can see it. So with that being said, at the Pan-African Connection, like I said, is the title of the documentary. Why did you make this documentary? Why this documentary? What inspired you to say, you know what, I'm gonna put together this documentary and highlight the Pan-African Connection bookstore?
I would say, how can I say? I would say the confusion and frustration of my ethnic group became too much for me to ignore.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess I gotta explain. Okay, so I was trying to put it simply, but then I realized I gotta explain that. But so for me and a lot of people that I knew growing up in a lot of similar situations, Black history isn't like directly taught to you. You know what I mean? It's like you pick up a whiff of it here and there, and you may learn about this here and there, but you don't really know anything,
Mm-hmm.
And with the glossed over version of American history in our schools, it only like muddies the water for you.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then there's like, but what I mean, you still naturally understand that it's something you should care about, but you still don't know, right?
Right.
And then on top of that, you going through what you're going through, dealing with what you're dealing with, and focused on what you're focused on. For me, that was sports. I was, and I was lucky enough to be able to do that from grade school all the way through college. But then, when college is wrapping up, you're about to leave college, and you decide you're done playing sports or whatever happened to you for that cutoff. Now these systems that demanded so much of your time and effort, it's no longer there, and you're forced. Well, for me, it was like I was forced to pay more attention to the world. And now I'm seeing these things that are happening socially and politically out in the world, and now I'm frustrated. That confusion, that earlier confusion, is now frustration. Now I'm mad. I'm like, well, why do they view us like this? Why do we act like this? Why does this keep happening, etc.? I'm going through these emotions, and then, but also on top of that, you're stepping into adulthood, and you're thinking about your student loans, getting a job, getting a career, whoop de whoop, and but I guess like luckily for me, what I chose to do, it allowed that door to stay open, and so by the time I run across the bookstore, Pan-African Connection, I'm looking at it like, well, maybe this is my opportunity to finally dive deep into this, to really know something instead of like just caring, but kind of, what I mean, like
right.
Yeah, that's why I made it to hopefully help that that person who is confused like I was, to hopefully give them something that they can look at and have a better understanding of what happened and what is still going on. I guess long story. I mean, long. That's why I made it.
Yeah. So your story is, or your path is similar to a lot of black men, similar to mine as well. I just didn't play in college, but it was football was my whole life.
Mm-hmm.
And then it came to a point where football ain't your whole life no more. And so you're not only trying to figure yourself out, you're trying to figure out this world around you. Because I know with us, they kept telling us that we gonna die by the time we turn 21 because we black males. So we like, what should I think about life after 21? Because you keep telling me I'm gonna die at 21. So should I think about life after 21? And then when you hit 21 and you're thinking about life, like, oh shoot, now what? And you're trying to find yourself, but you also trying to figure yourself out as far as what's going on in this racist world. What is this racism stuff that people keep talking about? I know it's affecting me. Why do I feel like this when the police get behind me? All these different things. I get you.
Yeah, it just really it's overwhelming at the beginning. It's just really overwhelming, and unless you get around, that's why I was so happy when I ran across like your channel.
Right.
That's why I always tell you like thank you and I appreciate y'all, because I really do like you Pat, and even though I haven't got to meet PC yet, what you call him on the show, Jones, like I'm like I can't wait to meet him as well, because he's like y'all really y'all helped me like not only see but process these things that regarding my ethnic group, like really like process them and think through these things that kind of come to my head, and just like I'm appreciative of that, because you're just not gonna, unless you kind of get out there and get with it, it's not something that's just gonna come by you just because you
right.
Yeah, but
no, I appreciate that. Especially because a lot of this just started with us having conversations because we were frustrated.
Yeah.
and when it's able to spawn into what we have here. So I'm definitely appreciative that you found the channel, you were able to find value in the channel. But it's the same thing with the documentary. That's what I think is necessary. And so for you, if somebody asks you, why is your documentary necessary? How would you answer that?
Someone asked me, why is the documentary necessary?
Mm-hmm.
I really believe in storing or implementing, putting like if we want people to care about something long term, they need to learn about who they are when they're young, or they need to be, they need to really know about the history, everything that came before them.
Right.
So I think if we want to, install this pride and all of these things that we like, I hear so much, just being online, you just hear and see so much of people talking about, oh, this is a problem, that is a problem. And I'm just like, well, like, I may not know all of the solutions, but I know we should at least start it at knowing about where we came from, like a cultural, proper cultural education. That's what I'm getting.
Right.
Proper cultural education will naturally aid in a lot of other things. So that's why I would say why it's important, because it'll provide at least a first step at a proper cultural education. Hopefully, inspire them to look at other people, see other things, and also to want to be a part of something happening wherever they may be located.
Right. And for the record, where is the Pan African Connection bookstore located?
It's located in Dallas, Texas, in Oak Cliff.
Okay. Oh man. So next time I'm in Dallas, I definitely got to check it out. One of my good brothers live out in Dallas, and we overdue for a trip back out to Dallas. And I'm a big Cowboy fan too. So
big Cowboy fan.
Hey man, They was on TV when I was young. They were always on TV, like because there was no Buccaneers. No Buccaneers were around. There were no Jaguars, no Panthers. No, I didn't see Tampa Bay. I didn't see Miami. So I saw Dallas.
Yeah,
so
I'm just messing with you.
Yeah.
I'm probably one of the only people from Dallas is not a big old Cowboy fan.
Yeah. It's funny that people ask me all the time, "How you become a Cowboy fan?" That was on TV. So.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. So, but no, the Pan African Connection bookstore. Like I said, when I watched the documentary and seeing you center the documentary around the bookstore, why was it important for you to highlight this bookstore?
It was important for me to highlight them because they started my deep dive. When I ran across them, I couldn't like, I don't know, like it was just something like it was, I need to do something here.
Mm-hmm.
And them being who they are and have the history they have in this city and everything they've done for people. I feel like it was my duty to at least try to express something and how much they mean to me in my journey. So it was very important for me to showcase them because they've made a tremendous impact on so many people in this city. And I was just really frustrated because I was like, why didn't I know about this place? Like, I grew up here, not even 10 minutes away, never heard about it. Never heard about it. Never wasn't involved with anybody who ever said that they were going to the spot. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, that was a big thing for me because I'm all about of course I don't want to give anything away in the film, so I can't probably say this, but I think it's important to showcase those type of things, and I want to try to use my passions, my skills, and things to help do that. But it was that was the big thing. Like, why didn't I know about this place? More people should know about this place, especially here. So that was a big reason for making sure that